Today I'm going to show just how to make a deep bowl from a form that you might have on hand. So these have kind of become the rage at the studio to make forms off of, and I got a little bit bigger one, and I'm just going to show you, how I would turn this into a ceramic bowl. So let's get started. I have to either prepare the surface. The clay is going to stick to it, so I want to either use cornstarch on it, or in this case I'm just going to use plastic. Sometimes the plastic does leave impressions on your texture, but my texture today is going to be paper, so it's going to be fine. It'll blend right in. The other thing too is you need to know how much. So before you start rolling your slab, you just put this over, and I need at least 16 inches. So I've prepared a 17 by 17 slab, which will work. So now I'm going to just cover this, and I'm careful to tuck in everything. So I've already rolled and prepared my slab. I'll cut to that now so you can see me doing that and come back to adding it on top. Okay, so this is my slab roller, and this is a slab that I just rolled out for the project. And here's the paper I'm going to use. So it's really important that you treat this paper ahead of time with some kind of sealant. So I do that so that I can use these over and over again. Let me just show you some of the other papers I have, because I love handcrafted papers. Anyway, I have tons of these things. So this was my Christmas present to myself this year, is a sheet of this paper. So as far as coating the papers, this is something what I use. Similar things, anything that seals. So I just do 3 or 4 treatments of this, and then the paper becomes pretty sturdy to use. Now if you don't do something like that, you're going to run into a problem like this. So I had not treated this. I thought I had, and I started using it, and then whoa, it just came apart. So of course I had to buy another one. But anyways, you can really tear the paper apart if you don't seal it. This really helps keep it strong. All right, so let's roll. First of all, I'm going to find the design portion I really like. I like this swirl here, so I'm going to use that. Make sure that gets in here. All right, let's do the peekaboo. Oh yeah. I just do this to make sure if there's any raised pieces that I push them back down. I'm not really pressing, I'm just holding and letting it roll. All right, back now to our other view to actually put it on the form. Okay, so I'm back now, and I'm going to take my slab, put it on the edge here, and then just gently flip it over, and then peel away the canvas. So now, if at this point, before I took it off the canvas, if I needed to reposition it, it's better to leave the canvas on and then reposition. So just like I do my other forms with plaster, I'm just going to gently go around in a concentric circle fashion, spiral actually, and just gently push it down further each time I go around. And I'm lifting when necessary. You have to be patient in this part. It takes a minute. The clay body I'm using is called Katinka from East Bay Clay, and this is the last bits of it. This is all the reclaimed stuff I wedged back together again and rolled out, and you can see there's some cracking here. I'll smooth that out in a minute. All right, so just like the plaster molds, I'm going to go around and do karate chop around the edge here. I'm using my finger to really press in. All right, next step is to follow along the line and cut. Now, because this is a form that I'm doing for the first time, I like to push back on here, but I'm also might add additional coil here just for a little bit thicker rim. It's you can always help your bowl from not warping so much if your rim is a little bit thicker than the walls. So I'm going to actually add a little bit of coil, and I'm just going to do that by taking a piece from my already cut piece. All right, before I go do the hard rib, I'm just going to do the soft rib on top just to get out all the canvas and maybe smooth over these cracks and make sure this is really conforming to the form. Also, the soft rib shouldn't interfere with the texture on the other side. And now I'm going to go with the hard rib on the sides just to smooth this out. Looking for is a transition that's smooth. I don't want it to flare out. All right, now that you've done the hard rib, you go back to the soft rib and just smooth down all those marks that you made with the hard rib. If you have a little piece to fill, just go ahead and fill it. All right, so at this point, I'm not worried about this unevenness on the form because I'm going to take away some of the top. I want a thick rim at the very top, and I usually leave that unstained. So I will just sign this and then set it up outside for a bit. And then we'll come back when it's ready to pop open. I'm back with my reveal of my bowl. And one thing that can happen when you put something over a form is that if you let it go too long without attention, you might develop a crack. So here's what I have down here. I have the beginnings of a crack. So what I'm going to do is dress this head on, and the way to repair it is just to dig into it. So I'm going to really go deep. I'm going to put some slip in there. And now I'm getting fresh clay, and I'm going to put it on top of there. So if that crack had gone through, then I would be addressing it on the other side. I'm hoping that it didn't. So let's take a look and see. So the mistake people often will make with these bowls is to try to take it all out with the plastic at once. And what you really are needing to do first is just take the bowl out from the plastic. Leave the plastic behind and just pop this out. There you go, take a look at that. So this is the first time I'm using this form, and so I'm learning about it at the same time you guys are. And what I can see here is that my technique for working with plaster when I push in, I think that this rim here is especially thick down here, but the rest of this stuff has just got to go. So I'm going to clean it up now just by using my needle tool across the top here and taking that off. Also, I don't see that crack. It would have been over here. I don't see it, so I think it was only on the outside. All right, my goal for this piece is that the rim be a flat, not rounded piece, and I'm going to keep that raw in the firing. So now I'm going to take a rasp and just go around the edges to make it uniform. Now that all the chunky stuff is off, I'm going to take you could either take a rib, or in this case I'm just doing a credit card, and I'm just going to go around it and soften this. What I'm doing here is sometimes there's edges that flare out, so I'm just going around making sure those flared out edges get dealt with. So I bring it up and then I go back across like that. That does leave a little bit of clay boogers, but I'll show you how I deal with that in a minute. Okay, so before I go to the next step, I'm just doing a final inspection to see if one side looks thicker than another. So I can just bring it down, I can trim out the outside. And I feel like it looks like it's good. So now after I've done the smoothing with the card, I'm now going to use my fingers. So here I'm just going to, section by section, just go like this around and smooth it out. Okay, well, I think I'm done here. There's my little swirl there off to the side. That works. I'm pretty happy with this bowl, so hopefully it'll come through the kiln okay. And the final consensus on this form, which is okay. I still like using my plaster better, so I will probably fill this and make a plaster form for it. Alright, thanks for watching. Catch you next time.